He turned down every girl in school, telling me I was his only rose. Yet on his birthday, he left me alone on a mountain. If YaoYao sees you, she'll lose it. Can't you just be reasonable? He snapped. While I stood at the summit, drenched and shivering in the wind, he cradled another girl and crooned, "You're the one etched on my heart." What is she? Nothing. I laughed, then pitched the ring I was clutching off the cliff. No ring, no him, done. My third birthday with Bowen fell apart when his first love flew home. He'd sworn to take me to watch the meteor shower. The instant his phone rang, he dumped me and sprinted for the exit. I caught his sleeve. "Can't someone else pick her up?" He stopped, turned, frowning. "Jordan, be reasonable. Stars can be watched any night. YaoYao's a mess. She only has me." I let out a dry chuckle, but tightened my grip. "Fine, I'll come with you." His face darkened. Irritation cracked his voice. "Stop it. If she sees you, she'll flip. You'll only make things worse." I froze, then slowly released him, staring like I'd never seen him before. He sighed, ruffling my hair. "Babe, I don't mean it like that. I swear I'll be right back. Be good, okay? No tantrums." He slammed the car door and roared off. I ran after him. "At least drive me down. Stranding me out here?" He started the engine, gave me a sneer. "Don't be dramatic, Jordan. I'll send someone." The taillights vanished downhill. Night dropped. The wind sliced through me. 30 minutes, still no ride. Clouds stacked, ready to burst. I checked WhatsApp. My messages unread, my FaceTime calls ignored. He used to reply in seconds. Panic unfurled. Just as I reached for a rideshare, a video popped up. Bowen hugging YaoYao like fragile crystal, whispering, "You're the one on my heart." Jordan's junk, barely a toy. The mountaintop echoed his sugar-coated poison. Barely a toy? I tugged the corner of my mouth, derision stinging. I remembered asking about his first love. He'd shrugged. Kid stuff. She was the maid's daughter. Mom shipped her overseas after 2 days. "Babe, you're my first real heartbeat." Those words had erased every rumor that the crown prince of the capital stayed pure for his overseas goddess. Turns out the joke was on me. I yanked the silver ring from my middle finger and hurled it into the void. No echo, no sparkle. Gone, like his forever vows. Wind whipped my hair. Cold drops smacked my cheeks. Then the sky split. Lightning flared, showing only me on the cliff's edge, trees thrashing, rain roaring. So much for wishes and love. The world flips faster than weather. "Get in." A harsh voice yanked me and shoved me into a warm SUV. I peeled the towel off my head. "What are you doing here?" Maisheng adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses, looking every inch the prodigal prince. "Making sure you don't off yourself over a guy. Someone has to claim the body." He cranked up the heat, eyes on the road, voice still icy. I rubbed my hair. "I won't die for love. Cheaters deserve the fallout." He glanced sideways. "Interesting. Wasn't it you who threw a tantrum to break our engagement for that jerk?" A mocking laugh. Rain drummed the glass. Silence settled. "After Mom and Dad died when I was 12, Uncle Mai took me in, kind and gentle. Mai Sheng, though, greeted me with knives. Shamelessness inheritable? How dare you live under our roof? Don't call me brother. It's disgusting. Deny knowing me outside. You make me sick." Years later, Alex, he came home from grad school. I passed the study. Doors cracked, shouting. "Childish betrothal? I'll never marry that witch's daughter." A slap rang out. "Your mom's death was an accident. Lila's mother had nothing to do with it. If you hadn't messed with her, Mom would still be alive," he roared. "Murderer's daughter. Marry a dog before I marry her." The door slammed. I crouched outside, crumpling an acceptance letter, a tear slipping. That's when I learned he blamed my mom for Aunt's death, no matter how I begged or bowed. I slept the rest of the ride home. Back at the condo, my Samoyed Lily bounded over, tail whipping the air. I'd rescued him from a trafficker. Now he's big, fluffy family. Ever since Uncle my passed last year, it's just us in Mom's apartment. After a shower, I boxed every trace of Seong Bowen, clean cut. At the hotel welcome dinner, around a corner, two voices sneered. Jordan's nothing special. Bowen ditched her without a second thought. Exactly, Yao. First love wins. White moonlight damage. She's all face and ego. Snagging the young master went to her head. Show her who Bowen truly wants. I stepped into view, looking down at them. One was his rabid ex-fan. Her cigarette tumbled when she saw me. Jordan, aren't you stuck on the mountain? So that explained the missing ride. Yao faced me, pretty and petite, no resemblance, confirming I'd never been more than a placeholder. I laughed. Jealousy flashed in her eyes. She lifted her chin. So you're Jordan. Stunning. Old times you'd be top courtesan. But you heard him. He's only playing with you. Don't blame him for brutal honesty. He adores me. I'll tell him to tip you extra for babysitting. Stay away afterward. I'd bet money she sent that video. Your mom was the housekeeper, right? Are you the foot-washing girl or the secret chambermaid? Wait. Maid seducing the air, booted out. That's you. Bowen Love didn't beg for you when Mommy Dearest exiled you. He only crawls now that the queen is dead. Her face purpled. You're a kept slut. We're true love. You're not fit to carry my shoes. I swung hard. The slap rang down the hall. Shock froze her friend. Yao lunged, clutching the jade pendant at my throat, yanking until the cord bit. I pried at her fingers. She wouldn't let go. Jordan. Seong Bowen's voice boomed. Yao released, throwing herself back, head smacking the wall. She wailed. Bowen rushed in, shoving me aside to cradle her. My pendant snapped, jade shattering on the marble. Mom's last blessing, fetched on bleeding knees. I knelt for shards when Bowen barked. Jordan, you've turned vicious. Yao sniffled. I only wanted to apologize for missing her birthday. She called me homewrecker and hit me. Bowen snapped. Apologize now. I popped the suitcase, appended it. Gifts he'd given tumbled like trash. I came to break up. Keep your stuff, toss mine. We're done. His eyes bulged. I spoiled you rotten. When you come sobbing. The doors close. He stomped off, Yao smirking over his shoulder. I lay awake that night thinking of Dad, who spent every spare second on Mom. After he died on duty, she withered and soon followed. Dad and Uncle, my army buddies, had betrothed me to Mai Sheng. I'd once wondered if we could be like my parents, till hatred crushed it. Years later, Seong Bowen appeared, sunny opposite of Mai Sheng, and adored me. At a climbing final, a rival stabbed a hairpin needle into my hand. I lost grip. She fell, accused me of cheating. Crowds vilified me. Bowen showed up, blew on the puncture, threatened her with ruin. Within a day, surveillance surfaced of her plotting. She was expelled. I asked why he believed me. Baby, you're my girl. If you did it, she deserved worse, he grinned. That absolute faith felt like forever, until it evaporated. Maybe loneliness is my fate. Next morning, Bowen waited at my classroom with my favorite soup dumplings. Word of the mountain dumping and my dumping him had spread. He was rumored to have moved Yao in. Now he beamed like nothing happened. I sidestepped. He caught my wrist, pouting. Babe, still mad? I was just angry, one more chance. I flung him off. Don't touch me, you're filthy. Dumplings and porridge splattered the floor. His smile iced over. Jordan, quit the drama. I backed away. Hear it again. We're strangers. Stop sniffing after me like a whipped dog. Veins throbbed in his neck. He seized my arms, eyes blazing. He seemed to be searching my eyes for even a flicker of love. When he didn't find it, he snapped, crushing me against him and savaging my mouth. His signature cologne, laced with jasmine, turned my stomach. I fought back, driving my knee hard between his legs. Bowen hissed in pain, half doubled, eyes bloodshot as he glared. Jordan, you have no heart. Half the hallway watched from a safe distance while he played the shattered lover. You dumped me just like that? Ice cold, aren't you? I don't believe you'd break up over something this small, unless you've already found someone else. I'd never guessed how expertly he could flip the script. He'd been the one entangled with his White Moon ex, yet here he was trying to dump the mess on me. I was pulling up the video Yao had sent when a girl rushed over. Young Master Xiang, Yao slit her wrists, she's in the ER right now. Some girls ganged up on her, pushed her over the edge. Go to her, please. I'm scared she'll try again, if she wakes up. He didn't move. His eyes stayed locked on me as he sneered. Don't flatter yourself. Women are the one thing I'm never short on. I won't indulge you. Without me, you're nothing. Let's see who'd ever want you once I'm done. I pocketed my phone and smiled thinly. Mind your own train wreck. Veins throbbed at his temples. He yanked a ring box from his pocket, flung it to the floor, and stomped away, rage pouring off him. By afternoon, the rumor mill had gone nuclear. I'd supposedly sent thugs to terrorize YaoYao, driven her to suicide, and cuckolded Bowen. I'd barely cleared the library steps when a pack of his fangirls surrounded me. One of them shoved forward. Jordan, just because the young master loves Yao more, you had to cheat? Shameless much. Brain-dead stands, give me strength. I stopped, met her glare, and grinned. Does Bowen even know he owns a rabid poodle like you? Foaming at strangers in the hallway, time for your rabies shot. Her face twisted, sparks practically shot from her eyes. You're lower than a dog. Forget how good he was to you? Ungrateful. Man-stealing witch. The rest chimed in like a Greek chorus. You deserve to rot. All he did was reconnect with his first love, and you try to ruin him. He's loyal and sentimental. Just step aside for Yao and stop being such a psycho. Jordan, someone this vicious will get what's coming. Claws flashed, nails digging into my arm. On reflex, I wrenched free. My textbook clipped her cheek. The second she screeched, I bolted back into the library. 36 stratagems. When outnumbered, run. 1 against 6? No win, no bruises needed. I'd barely crossed the threshold when they charged after me. Jordan, you're dead. Enough. A sharp voice cracked like a whip. The girls froze, faces draining of color. Behind me stood several deans on their routine walkthrough. Public bullying under admin eyes? Guaranteed disciplinary entries. Once the brass left, I sauntered over, sweeping my gaze across them. Way to pad your resumes for Bowen's love life. Permanent record looks great in hot pink, doesn't it? Let me be crystal. Bowen and I are done. His circus, my exit. Don't drag me back in. One of them clenched her fists, cheeks blotchy. Shameless. Dumped is dumped. Sleeping around won't win him back. Dream on. I slung my backpack and walked. Their heckling trailed off. Wonder what bottom feeder she'll snag next. Landing Bowen was sheer dumb luck. Those 3 years were her peak. She'll dine off the memory forever. Outside the doors, Maverick Mac stood waiting. He took the stack of books from my arms without asking. Buy me lunch. Before I could answer, a girl behind me gasped, Holy hell, who's the hottie? Jordan's luck still on steroids. Realizing she'd spoken aloud, she backpedaled. So, what if he's cute? Our young Master Xiang has money, power, and charm. I almost rolled my eyes out of their sockets. The cafeteria went quiet the moment Maverick stepped in. Girls at the next table kept sneaking photos. He ignored the buzz, eyes steady on me. Cafeteria date, your way of proving you've upgraded. I met his gaze, deep enough to drown in. Hadn't he insisted on tagging along after I refused a fancy restaurant? Whatever. I went back to my soup. Maverick was a walking contradiction. When people mocked me for having no parents, he shut them up. When bullies circled, he stepped in, then turned around and told me I was shameless, that the world would be cleaner if I just disappeared. Complicated didn't cover it. I'd once fantasized we could call a truce, that if I'd shoved my mom aside that night, maybe Mrs. Mack's car wouldn't have swerved and killed her, and maybe my own mom wouldn't have died drowning in guilt. We could try dating, he said when I stayed silent. Tone light, impossible to tell if it was a boardroom pitch or a joke. You lose nothing. With me, Bowen won't dare harass you, and our dads did sign us up for a prenatal engagement. I promised my old man I'd look after you. The corner of his mouth curved. His eyes pinned me like deal points on a slide. My jaw dropped. Was this the same guy who'd rather lose his credit cards than accept an arranged marriage and ran off to college abroad? A basketball smashed onto the table, ricocheting off plates. Jordan, who's the stray? Bowen stormed over, glaring daggers at Maverick. Trays flipped, Taylor everywhere. I scowled, temper flaring. Maverick rose unhurriedly, stepped to my side, lifted my hand, and wiped it with a linen handkerchief as though blood might spill any second. You dare touch my girl? Who the hell do you think you are? Bowen yanked him away and swung. Maverick took the punch, laughed in fury, and gave it back twice as hard. They traded blows, neither willing to back off. Shouts, phones up, watch the tea spill. Nobody intervened. I sucked in a breath, scooped the ball off the floor, and slammed it between them. Had enough? I yelled. I shoved them apart, rounding on Bowen. What is wrong with you? We're over. Who I date is none of your business. I still have the clip of you groping Yao on my phone. Want the whole cafeteria to see who really cheated? Bowen's face bleached. It's not what you think. I can explain. Spare me. I cut him off. I don't care about your love life details. Leave me alone and move on. I grabbed Maverick to leave, but Bowen blocked us, eyes fixed on my hand linked with Maverick's. His voice cracked into a sneer. No wonder you don't care. You've been warming this old man's bed all along, huh? Maverick lunged. I hauled him back and slapped Bowen hard. You repulse me. You screw up, then project your garbage onto everyone else. Bowen, what happened to you? He stared, stunned, wounded and furious. I'm repulsive? You're so high and mighty, but I had you first. Don't act like you're some prize. You're the one who put Yao in the hospital. I came to drag you there to apologize. He swept Maverick with a smirk. So being a sugar daddy's side piece is your thing now? Name his price, I'll double it. Maverick's fist connected. Bowen's head snapped sideways. Before round 2, I dragged Maverick out. Quick stop at school for antiseptic, then I sent him home. He never brought up his lunch table proposal again, and I filed it under bad jokes. Overnight, the cafeteria brawl footage exploded online. Yao couldn't sit still. She bombarded me with photos. Her and Bowen cuddling, kissing, even one half-naked in bed, suggestive and smug. Voice notes followed. Stay away from Bowen. We're in love. The fight wasn't about you. He just thinks your rebound is gross. We're getting married after graduation, so stop embarrassing yourself. Netizen commentary was equally colorful. Our campus queen has them brawling. Who's the suit guy, some Fortune 500 CEO? Queen be my foot. She hires thugs to scare the white moon, then parades a boy toy to make Bowen jealous. Can't decide if it's genius or tragic. That manipulative? No wonder she hooked Bowen for 3 years. White moon's back. Her tricks are wasted. I laughed it off. Truth bored the crowd. Outrage was the drug. I texted a friend studying abroad to dig into Yao's history. Depression? I wasn't buying. And if she and Bowen were soulmates, why had he sworn there was nothing to say about their past? I'd actually believed him, until she returned, and he flipped like a switch. I asked around and learned Bowen and Yao had dated since college entrance prep. They'd grown up together. He never paid other girls much attention, but he'd always looked after her. After she transferred abroad, he stayed single. Setups made him lose his temper. Everyone said he was waiting.
Such devotion, right?
I used to think the White Moon chastity story was romantic. Now the irony stung. He hadn't had nothing to say. He'd had nothing he wanted to tell me. My overseas friend messaged back. Yao's reputation is trash. She juggles guys, scams money, homewrecks marriages, got beaten more than once. Worst time, she messed with a married man, almost beaten into a psych ward. Claims mild depression, sure. Then some boyfriend back home fetches her, keeps wiring cash. Phone calls? Cash transfers? Bowen, you hopeless romantic. If he'd pined quietly forever, I'd have saluted. Instead, he dated me while speed dialing his first love, playing me for a fool. He cheated, then handed me the bill. She cried suicide and pinned it on me. In a twisted way, they deserved each other. But I wouldn't carry guilt that wasn't mine. Out of respect for the good times, I decided to confront them. I brought receipts, photos, screenshots, timestamp chats, and an ultimatum. Clear my name or I'd dump everything online. I heard Yao was still hospitalized, so I skipped classes and went. As I reached her door, Bowen stepped out, eyes lighting up for a split second before clouding over. He looked away like a sulky kid, water glass in hand, probably heading for the dispenser. I cut to the chase. You and Yao are going to retract the lies you spread about me today. At the sound of my voice, Yao darted out, all wary innocence. Why accuse us? We never slandered you. You sent people to harass me, to force me away from Bowen. I let it slide, but Bowen says you need to apologize on your knees. I thought that's why you came. I turned to Bowen, cold smile in place. Quite the king, aren't you? Judgment first, evidence later. You cheated, smeared me, and still act wronged. Sure you want to poke this bear? His eyes narrowed. So you didn't shack up with that older guy? Need me to catch you in bed to believe it? I yanked a folder and slapped the printouts across his face. Bowen froze, glimpsing the photos, his expression curdled. Yao went white, snatching them with shaking hands. You psycho. This is invasion of privacy. I'll sue. She jumped up, shrieking. You dare threaten Bowen with these? You think you can win against us? Bowen stood shattered, as if I'd been the one who betrayed him. I'd seen enough, play dirty, pay the price. I spun to leave when commotion erupted down the hall. A woman in white sprinted toward us, a crazed old man chasing her with a hammer. The woman slammed into us, barreled into Yao's room, and locked the door. The old man swung. Yao yanked me into the arc of the blow. At the same instant, Bowen pulled her out of the way. White light burst in my skull, pain detonating, and I crumpled. The last thing I saw was Bowen's horror-struck face and heard his cracked scream, "Doctor, get a doctor." I was out a full day and night, and woke with selective amnesia. Everyone else, crystal clear. The guy claiming to be my boyfriend? Blank slate. Bowen, unshaven and red-eyed, had kept vigil. When my gaze showed zero recognition, his tears came in ragged sobs. How could you forget me? 3 years. How do you erase all of that? The doctor explained. Impact-induced selective amnesia, mind shutting out what it couldn't bear. Therapy often brings it back, but in some cases the memories stay locked away. Bowen exploded. Bull. She'll remember. She has to. He stormed out, barking orders to fly and every top neurologist money could buy. The attacker was caught. Jealous husband chasing the wife who'd been tending an old flame. I'd simply been in the hammer's path. The steamy novella I'd written starring Campus himself was discovered by the very guy I'd cast. My sprint for the exit failed. Campus cornered me at the classroom door, with crew flanking him like bodyguards. I handed over a groveling apology letter and, as penance, delivered his breakfast every single morning for a month. One day, he studied the dog-eared pages for a long beat, then looked up with hopeful eyes. "Since you dreamed it up," he said, "this position should be doable, right?" The jump to Dylan hit like a tidal wave. The counseling suite stayed booked sunrise to sunset. I booked myself a slot too. The therapist prescribed an emotional pressure valve, 30 minutes a day devoted to a private hobby. Made sense. I followed orders. It worked. My practice test pace surged, and the insomnia vanished. Worth every dollar of the fancy fee Riverdale paid that woman. During self-study, I was grinding through a problem set when Zoe burst in. "Head curve wrecker, what did you do to Chase? I just heard his crew plotting to get answers from you." Every head in the room snapped up from their bubble sheets. My stomach flipped. Chase, next door Dylan, heir to the Hunter fortune, reigning campus, was a parallel line to my existence. We'd never even spoken. If I'd somehow poked the bear, the culprit could only be my newest hobby, making him the star of the R-rated scenes I typed at night. I shot to my feet, so fast my chair screeched. "I don't feel great." Going back to the dorm. Zoe blinked, confused. I reached the threshold the same moment campus and crew rolled up. Chase dangled my unmistakable lock and key notebook from one finger, brow arched. "Lila, care to claim this?" Riverdale knew I loved to write. My essays were framed on the back blackboard, but nobody knew I moonlit as a smut peddler. That day after leaving the counseling office, Casey had spotted Chase running drills on the blacktop. Half the female population ringed the court chanting his name. Sunlight, sweat, six-pack, dynasty-level pedigree. How could any writer resist? I blew $20 on a padlock journal that same afternoon and christened my secret hobby. The same journal now swinging from his hand. Caught red-handed, I confessed. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have written erotica about you. I apologize." Silence swallowed the corridor and the classroom alike. Chase's expression flickered through weather systems. "Repeat that. What exactly did you write?" He wanted deeper contrition, clearly. I bowed a perfect 90 degrees. "Once more, my sincere apologies to Chase. I swear I'll never again use you as the protagonist of—" "Shut it." His growl sliced the air. "I found this on the bleachers. Haven't cracked it open." I peeked at the innocent-looking notebook and swore I could hear it snicker. Before the final bell, the headline blazed through every group chat. Dylan 1's Lila Penn's steamy novella starring Dylan 2's Chase. My spotless reputation combusted on the spot. Since freshman year, I'd been the gold star girl, front row attentiveness, perennial top 3 averages, the faculty's darling. Overnight, I'd become the campus pornographer. Chase confiscated the journal. Intimidated by him, the masses instead stampeded to the blackboard, mining my old essays for hidden innuendo. "Say what you want. Your prose slaps." Zoe whistled. I side-eyed her. "My bad," she said, palms up. I overheard them and assumed torches and pitchforks. I exhaled. Truth. Panic had made me indict myself before understanding the verdict, dragging Chase into the mud with me. My conscience itched. I fished out the repentance letter I drafted at 2 a.m., added a cafeteria bag of steamed buns and soy milk, and marched to the neighboring classroom. Recon from the doorway, Chase's desk, last row, inches from the exit.
He was face down, asleep.
I inched the rear door open, planning a drop and dash.
Squeak.
Every bolt in that hinge screamed. Chase's sleepy eyes locked on mine while the entire class swiveled for the show. Apology delivery," I muttered, planting the goods on his desk. He skimmed the first 3 lines. "Back off." The words were pure sandpaper. I sprinted. Chase probably wasn't satisfied with my apology letter. I agonized over it for an entire day before I finally hatched a new plan. The next morning, I delivered breakfast to the class next door again, but this time the tray came with a bonus. The first chapter of my newest creation, *Campus Star. In it, The hero Chase looks like Riverdale's reigning campus on the surface, but he's actually the school's secret guardian. Alien monsters have infiltrated the academy, and Chase, alone aware of the danger, quietly protects both teachers and students. Chase clearly loved the new storyline because he stopped telling me to stay away. When I brought breakfast, he even opened the door early so I could teleport the supplies. I was happy too. I just wanted him to forgive me. After a month of deliveries, Ellis said, You don't have to bring food anymore." Thank heavens, Chase had finally forgiven me. Senior year, Dylan, means tests, tests, and more tests. Once Chase forgave me, I dove straight into practice sets, bracing for the upcoming monthly. Our teachers work at lightning speed. The day after the exam, scores are already posted. In front of the bulletin board, you see every human emotion. Some kids laughing like maniacs, others looking like they've stared into the abyss. I ranked first in my class and third in the grade, same as last time, but my total had dropped 7 points. I did some painful soul-searching. The time I'd spent apologizing to Chase and writing campus had apparently lured me into slacking off. Zoe studied my gloomy face, baffled. "What's wrong?" "That's a great score." "I'm 7 points lower than last monthly," I said, devastated. Homeroom said every point means 100, maybe 1,000 people past you. I lost 7. 7 points equals 700, no, 7,000 people. Zoe ground her teeth. "Give the rest of us a chance, will you?" I reignited my fighting spirit. "I'm going to grind 2 more sets right now." While I was drowning in practice problems, Zoe staggered into the classroom. "Head curve wrecker, what did you do to Chase this time? I just heard his crew planning to get answers from you." A little deja vu there. I lifted my head and stared at her blankly. "Lila, someone's here for you." In the sudden hush, the class rep's voice actually trembled. At the doorway, Chase stood behind the rep, making the poor kid look like an undergrown bean sprout. Chase was a head taller, a couple of crew behind him. Pure intimidation. I braced a hand on my desk to stand. Under everyone's gossipy, sympathetic stares, I walked out. "I'm sorry, I was wrong," I said. "Apologize first, think later." "Wrong about what?" Chase sounded bored. "You wouldn't believe me if I said I don't know, right?" I tried to telegraph that thought with my eyes. He caught it. The corner of his mouth twitched. "Why haven't I gotten anything lately?" "But you said I didn't need to deliver stuff anymore." I was genuinely lost. A snort burst from one of the crew. I recognized him. Cameron, class 1 of Dylan, second in the grade. Chase meant breakfast is canceled. Campus still has to ship. "We're all waiting," Cameron said cheerfully. "And, Lila, may I offer a suggestion? The hero needs sidekicks. Look, me, them. We're raw material. Use us." He pointed at himself and the other crew. "Creative freedom," Chase barked, glaring. "I got it. I'll be on time tomorrow." Satisfied, Chase left with his crew. I stayed behind, sighing. This time I was really spectacularly popular, more than before. Campus leaked from Chase's crew, electronically. By the time I found out, Zoe said the entire student body was camping on updates. Before, classmates hunted me down for help with problem sets. Now, they wanted spoilers. Guess who suffered?
Me.
To claw back those 7 points, I pushed bedtime back another hour. After 2 weeks, I felt translucent, dizzy, seeing double. The morning I dropped off the newest installment, my legs buckled, and I pitched straight toward Chase. Before I could blurt, "I didn't mean to," the world went black. I woke up in the school office. Chase sat beside the cot, idly scrolling his phone, looking bored. "You're up." His expression was odd. "School says it's the change of season plus no rest, low-grade fever." He handed me the medicine and water on the table. Prescription from school. The water was still lukewarm. Studying his face, I realized he felt guilty. "Sorry, I didn't know it would get this bad." His voice was muffled, awkward but sincere. No need to apologize, I messed up first, I said, shaking my head. He stared until I started to squirm, then tugged one corner of his mouth upward. I forgive you, he said, light again. I forgive you too, I echoed. For no reason at all. We looked at each other and burst out laughing. I hit on a brilliant method. Keep campus rolling without cannibalizing study or sleep. When I explained, Chase stared a moment, then agreed. Every day we met in the dining hall. He'd eat while I pitched the next plotline out loud. At first it was just the two of us. Soon his crew squeezed in. Eventually our table looked like a rally. Skylar, the crew who'd originally scanned the story, pointed a recording pen. Chase sensed something wrong. The alien-possessed Dean had hidden hypnotic signals in the English listening track to enslave the whole school. At the critical instant, Chase channeled every ounce of spirit energy to freeze time, but Dean noticed, and he. So, what happened to me? A familiar voice cut in. Everyone swiveled. Dean stood outside the circle, curious. Did Chase stop time? Yes, I answered reflexively. Good to know, Dean said. I choked on my own spit and coughed spectacularly. Chase patted my back. When I finally stopped hacking, Dean said, Lila, Chase, my office. In Dean's office, we stood against the wall. Our homeroom rushed in, heard the story, and scolded me with disappointment. No wonder you dropped 7 points on the monthly. 1 point means 100. Even 1,000 people pass you, and you lost 7. Then the speech. Other kids can fool around. Their parents will transfer them abroad. They'll come back with fancy degrees and inherit the family conglomerate. Regular people like us rely on studying to get into a good university and land a decent job. Translation: he was roasting Chase to his face. Mr. Williams, watch your tone. Chase's homeroom shot back. Chase didn't force Lila to do anything. If the only hero is Chase, who else pushed her? My homeroom fired back. They argued nonstop. I glanced at Chase. Why didn't he explain the whole mess started with me? His face stayed calm, almost cold, the way he looked when it wasn't his fault, yet he never defended himself. My nose stung. Sir, Chase never pressured me. I cut in. I did something wrong. I wrote campus to apologize. It was voluntary. And what exactly did you do wrong? My homeroom demanded. Just as I opened my mouth, the silent Chase spoke. She didn't do anything. I forced her. He looked at me. It has nothing to do with you. It does, I said, tears falling. Last time it was my fault too. I was a coward. I hurt you once. I can't do it again. Both homerooms stopped shouting. Even Dean set down his tea. Explain clearly. Riverdale has a placement tradition. 2 years ago, right before freshman placement, a boy cornered me. You're Lila, right? Heard you crushed the entrance exam. We're in the same room, be smart. He wore the uniform but reeked of delinquent swagger. I'd never met anything like it. I shook with fear. Too terrified to agree. Too scared to refuse. He took my silence for consent and swaggered off. During the test, he sat behind me. A few minutes in, he started kicking my chair. I wrestled with myself and stayed frozen. He kicked harder. The proctor noticed. Eyes on your own paper. Sit still. He went quiet. The remaining session stayed calm. Assuming he'd given up, I relaxed. After the last test, he trapped me in the restroom. Pretty gutsy playing me, he sneered, blowing smoke in my face. Lesson time? You asked for it. He raised his fist. Just as I was about to scream, someone blocked him, Chase. With one brutal shove, Chase pinned him to the wall. The hell, the guy fought back. They scuffled. I bolted in panic. At Monday's morning, Chase delivered a public for fighting. I headed to the office to explain. Ran into Chase in the corridor. Nothing to do with you, stay out of it, he said. Later the boy transferred out. The Hunter family donated a truckload of hush money, and Chase's legend as Riverdale's campus was born. Sobbing, I recounted every detail. Dean and both homerooms were stunned. I was too scared. Chase saved me and took a disciplinary for it. And this time, what did you do? Chase's homeroom asked. This time it's because I. Stop. Don't say it. Chase cut in, ears turning red. I realized the truth. If I announced in front of staff that I'd penned steamy self-insert fiction starring him, he'd be humiliated right along with me.
I'm sorry, sir.
I can't say, but I really did wrong by Chase. I bowed 90 degrees. The teachers gave up. Dean finally dismissed us, banning any further campus projects. We walked back in silence. At the stairwell, I asked, "Did you read what was in the notebook?" "No, isn't it locked?" His answer shocked me. I hadn't expected him to leave it sealed. I sucked in a breath and spilled the secret. The code is 0905. The day 2 years ago when he saved me. Inside was an alternative campus. Hero Chase, heroine a fantasy version of me, brave, kind, upright, gorgeous, perfect for him. Together they guarded the school, battled endless foes, and after every victory kissed, embraced, tangled limbs in forgotten corners, every shameful, dirty daydream I'd ever had. But Chase was too good. I felt vile by comparison. I couldn't pretend nothing happened and stay friends. Once he read it, he'd find me disgusting. My crush was finished. Those days with Chase had been a beautiful dream, and I told myself to be content. I studied like a machine. Even Zoe said I was scarily obsessed. On the next monthly, I passed both Cameron and the class rep for first in the grade. Walking back from the board, I glanced through the glass of Quinn, too. Chase sat talking with Logan. Sensing me, he looked up. I spun away and hurried to my seat. Before I could settle, the rep dropped a gauntlet. "Next time I'm beating you." Zoe cracked up, sprawled across her desk. During break, we hit the mini-mart for water. Casey passed Dylan too. They just had gym. Chase and a few guys shot hoops. He leapt, the ball ripped net, landed grinning, slapped palms. I smiled too, until tears blurred everything. Zoe panicked, fumbling for tissues. "Hey, why are you crying?" I sniffed. "It's nothing. Sand in my eye." After classes and 3 practice sets at night study, I should have packed for the dorm, but exhaustion hollowed me. "Deskmate, campus is outside. No crew this time, probably not here to pick a fight," Zoe chirped. The remaining classmates didn't even react. Only my heart lurched. This time he really was here for me. I trudged out like a prisoner. Chase leaned against the hallway wall. Seeing me, he closed the distance. "Why were you crying?" he asked, exasperated. I looked up instinctively and met smiling eyes. He handed the notebook back. "I didn't open it, didn't read it," he said. "Do you want me to?" I clutched it tight and shook my head hard. "Then why give me the code?" A helpless note crept into his voice. "Every time I see you, you're doing something dumb." Bright laughter spilled across his face. My heartbeat hammered, boom, boom, boom. My supposedly dead crush rebooted instantly. Campus resumed, Chase-only edition. Each night, I thumb-typed a short update and sent it via WhatsApp before bed. Chase texted back with commentary. Our daily dates in the dining hall restarted. The crew wailed when they heard the cereal was back. Skylar begged, "Chase, forward it to me. I'll format it for you." "So you can leak it again?" Chase glared. "Give it up, little Sky," Logan said, grinning at me. "It's Chase exclusive, understand?" My face burned. "By the way, Chase's birthday is this weekend. Join us, Sam," Logan added. "Mind your own business," Chase muttered. "No gifts," he instructed me. "None of them bring any. I don't accept them." "Coming?" he asked. "Okay," I answered, my voice swallowed by the crew's chorus of hoots. My cheeks kept heating. "Shut up, all of you," Chase barked, looking, unless I was imagining it, adorably embarrassed. Sunday, Chase booked a trendy restaurant. When I arrived, he and the crew were already chatting. Chase had Skylar and another friend on his left, Logan on his right, but one empty chair separated him from Logan. Seeing me, Logan waved. "Sam, sit here." Smile full of mischief. Over dinner, they roasted one another nonstop, revealing they'd been inseparable since kindergarten. After eating, we invaded a karaoke lounge. No one sang. Logan declared we'd play truth or dare. Rules: ace, 2, 3, 4 of diamonds plus 1 joker. Whoever draws the king can order anyone a truth or a dare. Refuse and you chug bitter melon juice. He shuffled and fanned the cards face down.
Draw.
I survived the first 2 rounds. Round 3, Logan flipped the joker. "Who's the 3 of diamonds?" "That's me," I said, turning my card. Logan's eyes lit with fox-like glee. "Sam, got a crush on anyone?" Thank the dim karaoke lights. My face must have been crimson.
Yes. The words scraped out of me.
The room erupted in wolf whistles, and I was too chicken to look at Chase. Round 4. Logan pulled the king again. "Who's the ace of diamonds?" "Still me." I stared at Logan. Was this guy stacking the deck? "Sam, do we know the guy you like?" The moment the question left Logan's mouth, every head swiveled toward me. One gaze felt like a laser on my skin. I grabbed the bitter melon juice, tipped my head back, and chugged. The cheers got louder. Restroom break. I bolted. Cold water on my face. A full 2 minutes. The flush finally faded. I stepped out and froze. Chase was leaning against the wall, thumbs dancing over his phone, waiting for me. The realization punched the air out of my lungs. "Lila," he said, "do I know the guy you like?" "I know him." Crap. Those 2 seconds of cold water were a waste. My cheeks were on fire again. After Chase's birthday, everything felt the same, only not. At night, I still WhatsApp chapter dropped campus to him. He griped that Skylar kept bugging him for the newest episodes, but he never caved. He told me Logan, this slacker, was secretly a curve wrecker who cranked flashcards till midnight. That YaoYao had been a chatterbox since kindergarten, but had turned into a clam. I gossiped that the math teacher's hairline had staged another retreat, that the class rep wore his pants backward after an all-night cram session, that Zoe got busted doing chem worksheets during English and had to stand for the period. Between 3rd and 4th period, we accidentally met at the mini-mart. At dinner, we happened to share a table. Under our silent agreement, winter break arrived in a blink. Besides studying, I fed every spare minute to my hobby. By the time school reopened, a new campus, rated NC-17, filled a lock-and-key notebook. Earlier drafts had been pure daydream fuel. This time I couldn't stop slipping myself between the lines. The instant I saw Chase in the corridor, my imagination rocketed. In the steamy edition, Chase cradled me in long, powerful arms while we outran alien monsters. Under starlight, he pinned me to a wall, hot mouth on mine, pianist fingers improvising across my skin.
Ah.
I screamed inside my skull. "Stop. Do not finish that scene. What's cooking up there?" "Your face is neon," Chase said, yanking me back to earth. "Nothing." Bell's about to ring. I sprinted away, mortified. Behind me, he laughed out loud. When classes resumed, the air turned metallic. A college entrance countdown went up next to the blackboard. P.E. shrank from once a week to once a fortnight. Monthly tests became weekly. Every day was another avalanche of practice sheets. Morning and evening study halls fell silent. Even whispers died. We could breathe only in the cafeteria. "I'm too tired to chew," Zoe sighed, gnawing a drumstick. "Same." "Ditto." +1. The chorus of groans rippled down the table. This year's 70th Jamie, Gala plus track meet, and Dylan's competing, Logan announced, grinning like a fox. His words detonated an instant buzz. Next morning, homeroom confirmed it. Dylan would run only, but that was fireworks enough. The athletics rep had every event chocked full before lunch. At last, the long-awaited Jamie opened. Chase signed up for the 3,000 I stationed myself at the finish line, mentally screaming his name every time someone yelled go. 500 meters a lap, 6 laps total. We locked eyes 5 times. On the 6th, he kicked, and I didn't blink until he snapped the tape first. Amid the roar, he jogged over. Mind if I steal your water? Parched. Sweat-damp hair, chest still pumping, voice gravel rough. Exactly the scene I'd once inked. My heart outran his. I shoved the bottle at him. He took a slow pull, eyeing me. Only then did I notice it was half gone. My backwash special. Let me grab a fresh one. Too late, he drained it. Chase left to change. Zoe slid in, smirk blazing. Saw everything, roommate. The meet ran 2 days. Night 2 was the variety show. Freshmen and sophomores performed. Dylan only watched. Our classes were seated side by side, and by careful accident, Chase and I occupied the aisle ends together. Lights dimmed. All eyes aimed at the stage. His hand slid over and closed around mine, callous knuckles, warm, damp. My palm answered with its own sweat, but I squeezed back. Avery, his mouth curved. Next up, the drama club presents Campus. The MC murdered every stray thought. Catcalls, whistles, a chorus of yes. Chase's grip crushed my fingers. I couldn't bear to look at him. I stared at the curtain, dying inside. After my public self-outing via Smut FIC, this was Death 2.0, now with faculty, alumni, and parents in attendance. Every time the actors on stage said Chase, I stopped breathing. When the torture finally ended, we shuffled toward the exit. Chase stopped short. I followed his gaze. A poised, elegant woman stood smiling. Mom, Morgan. My stomach dropped. Mrs. Hunter turned to me. You must be Lila. Logan tells me you wrote Campus. Wonderful job. Riley. I tried for model student smile. I heard there's a private edition starring Chase. May I peek? No way. It's mine. Only I get the director's cut. Chase cut in deadpan. I went numb. One thought looped. Logan, you are the next supervillain of Campus. I went thermonuclear viral. Chase, collateral damage. Homeroom called me in. Focus on grades, not boys. Across the office, Chase got the mirror lecture. Words like college entrance, puppy love, bad influence ping-ponged. Both teachers dismissed us in creepy sync. Stop, Chase back inside, his homeroom shrieked as we tried to leave together. Right, separate hallways, mine added. Chase shot me an amused look. I speed walked out. Barely a month to college entrance. We didn't need nudging. We'd already downshifted to nightly GN, sleep early, kill it tomorrow texts. Our names inched closer on the honor board. Chase had pole vaulted from top 50 to top 20. Logan said he studied till 2 a.m., up again at 6:30. My heart melted into a puddle. Over winter break, he'd asked where I wanted to go. I said elite, my forever dream. Back then, elite had been out of his range. He needed top 10 to be safe. He'd planned to transfer abroad, but he stayed, fighting for the same future, zero pressure on me. I photocopied every note I owned. His dark circles deepened. At the second mock exam, he cracked 7th place. My eyes watered as we beamed at each other across the auditorium. At the pre-exam rally, the school unveiled a dream wall. We scribbled dreams on cards and pinned them up. As I headed out, Zoe burst in. Go to the dream wall, stat. Surprise waiting. She wiggled her brows. A crowd lingered, pretending not to. Among the crowded cards, one lonely square of paper hogged an empty patch. I pulled it down, his handwriting. I'm going to elite with Lila. Chase. I tacked mine beside it. I want to go to elite with Chase. Before leaving campus, I snapped a photo of the two cards. We tested in opposite ends of the city. When the last booklet closed, we FaceTimed and compared answers. He felt great, still, until the scores dropped. Nothing was certain. Results day. I checked mine, exactly what I'd hoped. My phone buzzed, Chase breathless. Lila, I'm outside your house. I tore downstairs in my house slippers. He caught me in a bear hug. I did it, Lila. I'm coming to Elite with you. Stars ignited behind his eyes. Lila, I'm in love with you. Be my girlfriend. Our parents caravanned to drop us at college. Onlookers gawked. Logan cracked. First-time future moves in daughter-in-law. Zoe added. And parents drag son-in-law to campus? Chase ignored them. Fingers laced through mine for the world to see. For years, and the lock notebooks multiplied. Entire shelf by graduation. He went home to helm the family conglomerate. I signed on to teach at Riverdale. While I unpacked, Chase helped. Zoe and Logan want us back at school Saturday, calendar check. I said, hanging teas. Silence. I glanced over. He stood at my desk, flipping a stack of familiar black spines. I'd almost forgotten. Mind if I open these now? The ambush left me speechless. I'd shoved them under the bed, how? Password still 0905, he murmured, tugging me onto his lap. My cheeks self-ignited. Read alone or together? He breathed against my ear. Why you go ahead? I squeaked, throat suddenly bone dry. I scooted off, resumed unpacking with Oscar-level pretending. He opened the very notebook he'd rescued years ago, read in solemn quiet. At last, he lifted a page. You wrote this scene. Think we can manage the pose? I pretended to ponder. Want a test? His eyes flashed. He hauled me in and kissed me dizzy. As we worked through the glossary of my imagination, half-conscious, I saw again the boy who'd swooped into that bathroom like a comet and saved me. The glittering teen who lit my youth and dragged my secret love into daylight. Extra, Rowan. After hoops with Logan, I found a tiny lock notebook on the bleachers. Name penciled on the corner, Lila. Knew her. Girl I'd fished out of trouble in the restroom 2 years back. I'd just picked up a disciplinary for fighting. She marched in looking ready to confess. Nothing to do with you, stay out of it. I'd warned. Truth. I'd already wanted to pulp that extortion creep since middle school. She always looked at me like she owed me a life debt. I meant to return the book. Instead, she blurted, sorry for writing smut about you. Logan almost swallowed his tongue laughing. Next morning, she smuggled me breakfast. The door crash-echoed through the class. Breakfast aside, campus ruled. Who knew she pictured me as superhero material? The guys turned greener every update. She fainted, studying plus nightly serials. I carried her to school. Nurse smirked at my red ears. Exhaustion, she said. Logan's intel. Lila never slept. Guilt punched, weird and sharp. Then came the Dean homeroom double bust. She surrendered the password, trudged off like a prisoner. After that, she near cried every time we crossed paths. I found her again, handed the notebook back unread. Her eyes relit. Birthday party, spin the bottle. She admitted she liked someone we all knew, then bolted. Dude, who's Sam's mystery crush? Logan teased. I waited outside the restroom. She confessed. You know him. I knew. Lila liked me, and I liked her. If she wanted me as her fiction hero, I'd audition for life. Years zipped by until another locked notebook surfaced. She feigned folding t-shirts, spying the whole time. I flipped to the new, enhanced edition. Way better with a co-star. Curiosity won. Since you scripted it, can we actually pull off this move? She whispered. Try? Should have cracked that lock in sophomore year.